On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best market you've ever seen in Metro Atlanta and 1 being something awful, what rating would you give the Metro Atlanta residential real estate market? Just residential, just resales.
Just resales. Okay, I was going to ask if you want to specify between
Well,
one of those.
I'd love to talk about new construction, but I think we're going to do that a little bit later. I'm talking just
Okay, yeah.
resales right now.
Oh, wow. I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, I guess, for the most part. You're talking to investors who own a bunch of properties, you're talking about somebody who's trying to buy a house for the first time. If I'm going to be honest, though, I'm going to say it's a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Very
Out of
interesting.
1.
Yeah, and it depends on what you're trying to do. And you said such a mouthful. For a seller, they might look at the market as still a 10. They put it on the market, they get a great price, blah, blah, blah. So that's very interesting. I would give it a 5.
Okay.
I would give it a 5. And I'm not saying your number's wrong. I would just probably be kind of right in the middle. At the beginning of 2023, or just slightly into 2023, prices stopped rising. And by the end of the year, I saw a few months where they were actually a little bit behind where they were the following year. Nobody really talked about that because prices were still up for the year. I believe that prices have started to accelerate again. Talk to us about that.
They have. If you go back to COVID, I mean, everything's going to come back to COVID, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what caused this mess we're sort of in right now. But, home prices were skyrocketing, 10, 20, 30% year over year. And then we kept pushing and saying that we need this slowdown. People are getting priced way too much out of the homes. So, yeah, for the first half of last year, we really saw home prices appreciation slowing down. Like you said, a couple months were actually negative.
Yep.
You don't want to see it negative, really. I mean, that could lead to really bad things. But towards the second half of the year, prices are starting to go up again. First quarter of this year, still up 7, 8, 9%. And when you're comparing it to 2 years ago, like 8% appreciation year over year, that's not that bad, but that's considerably higher than what we typically want to see. Maybe 3 to 5% is normal. So we're pretty much double what we consider normalcy. And also, people's incomes aren't going up 8%. And so it is becoming more of a market that everybody's just getting priced out of. Everybody's situation is different. I think what maybe would make our number that we just talked about, instead of being a 3 or 5, maybe a 10, is if there's affordability and people who are younger trying to look for the first time buyers. If they could buy a home, you would maybe say it's a 9 or 10. That's just not the case for a lot of people right now.
Let me ask you this, and let's see if your data agrees with mine. Today, a new home is a better deal compared to a resale than it was 3 years ago. You might not even be in tune enough to know, are builders still offering incentives, things like that? Is that in your?
Almost everyone I talk to is still offering incentives. A lot of it mortgage rate driven. That is the just key factor for a lot of consumers right now trying to buy. And unless you're just stockpiled with cash, that rate is going to impact your payments so much.
Yeah, and so you're saying that builders might use their incentives to buy down your rate.
Exactly.
Because I've seen them say in some places that they can get you a 4.99 rate on your long-term financing. Now, that costs the builder a lot of money to do that, but what an incentive and what a difference in your payment between 6.75 and 4.99. That's a big dang difference.
Yeah, and like you said with the pricing, I mean, they are very close. Even 2 years ago, the average resale price in Metro Atlanta was higher than the average new home price. So as a consumer, and then we're also talking to people, builders, and we're building smaller homes, which is true. Last year we had the highest market share of new construction townhomes Metro Atlanta has ever seen. So we're clearly building smaller homes.
Yep.
But if you can look at the price per square foot of a new and a resale, they are so close to one another right now.